Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So it's been a while since I last posted on YouTube, but for today's video I'm going to be talking about 15 different scholarships or flight academies that you can apply to start your flight training or continue your flight training journey, whether you're in your instrument or your CFI stage. And I'm going to talk about 15 different things, different scholarships and different flight academies that I know of and ones that I researched for this video. I'm going to be referring to my iPad a lot, so if you see me looking down, I'm just looking at my notes and the different scholarships that I have written down. But for the first scholarship that I wanted to talk about was EAA's flight training scholarships. And I actually recently applied to this back in December, and I'm still waiting on the results. They come out during the beginning of March. So fingers crossed I get that and I can start my flight training. But the scholarships are usually open during October. I think this year it was open during October, and they're until like middle of December, around December 19th. I know for me, I submitted it before winter break. It was like the last day before winter break started, and their deadlines are usually pretty strict, and scholarship decisions are released early the next year. A lot of the scholarships, they cover private pilots training, advanced ratings, and chapter specific awards tied to local EAA groups. So you can obviously join like local EAA chapters, and they actually ask for it in the application whether you are part of an EAA chapter. But it depends. Like obviously when you apply for the scholarship, it's not just one scholarship that you're like competing for. There's many different scholarships, and not all of the scholarships you'll be applicable for, because some of them you have to be a Wisconsin resident, some of them you have to be a Michigan resident, some of them it can only be for students who are trying to get their private pilot's rating. But there's many different scholarships, and when you apply, you have to write a few essays asking like why you feel like you're the best applicant for the scholarship. Ask for any volunteer services and what organizations you've volunteered for. Ask for letters of recommendation and your GPA and a lot of other stuff. But once you submit it, the people that are reading through your application, they'll look through the different scholarships and see which ones you actually meet the requirements for. So for example, if you're trying to get your private pilot's rating and you're a Wisconsin resident, you might be applicable for the Wisconsin resident ones and the private pilot training one. But there's obviously a lot of different scholarships that you can win through there. There's not just one, you can win a few. But I think it's definitely a great opportunity, and honestly, any students that are interested in flight training or aviation careers should definitely check that out. The application process was pretty easy for me to do, especially it was my first scholarship too that I was ever applying for. So for it being my first one, it was pretty easy for me to do. For my letters of rec, I asked a pilot that I met through the OBAP Academy, and all my essays and stuff I got it read through by my teachers. So yeah, I definitely recommend checking that scholarship out. I think it's definitely a great opportunity to get financial help to start flight training. So when you search up EAA flight training scholarships, it'll take you to this, and when you click on flight training scholarships, you can scroll down, and obviously it says that all applicants that applied this year will be notified on March 2nd. They've awarded over $135,000 each year to students to pursue flight training. So obviously it's a lot of money. And there's so many different scholarships that you could possibly be applicable for. It just keeps going. But obviously, like I said earlier, you might not be applicable for each and every single one. For example, to be considered, this recipient must have attended EAA's Air Academy either as a camper or a staff member, and they must not have their private pilot certificate already. So, for example, in this case, if you're a student who hasn't attended an Air Academy yet, or you're already on an instrument rating, you're not going to be applicable for this scholarship. However, there's numerous other ones that you could definitely be applicable for. So if you're applying to this scholarship, I definitely recommend looking through every single scholarship and seeing how many you could possibly be applicable for, to see if you can actually even be applicable for one of these. The next scholarship opportunity I have is through OBAP, which I mentioned earlier, and it stands for Organization of Black Aerospace Professional, and it's a national organization that is focused on increasing Black representation in aviation and aerospace. They offer many opportunities like flight training scholarships, academic scholarships, mentorship and career exposure, and national conferences with airlines, pilots, and recruiters. And their next national conference which is going to be this summer, is actually hosted in Chicago. So hopefully I'll be able to go to that one and volunteer there. But it's really best for students of color interested in aviation and that are in high school or college. You definitely don't need to be a student of color to do this. I know so many people that have done an OBAP ACE Academy, for example, and they're not someone of color. So don't be discouraged if you feel like you don't meet the requirements. And most of their applications for scholarships, they're usually open late fall or winter, and many deadlines fall in early spring. I definitely recommend applying to these scholarships. I haven't looked into these as much because most of them require you to be a resident or a citizen. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to apply to these type of scholarships. However, if you do meet those requirements, I definitely recommend applying to these. I know so many people that were able to get a lot of financial help through these organizations. They also, if you look more deeply into it, I've heard of a lot of flight academies as well, which if you apply to, they'll take you out to a city that it's located at, and you can get a few hours to your private pilot's license, or some even get you your whole private pilot's license as well. So I definitely recommend checking that out as well. So one of the academies that I actually know that is through OBAP is called the Luke Weathers Junior Flight Academy. So if you just search this up on Google, it'll tell you more information about it. It's a fast track training, zero experience to airline pilot job within 2 to 3 years. It obviously can help you with your private pilot's license, commercial, certified flight instructor, and many more. There's more information about it. Obviously here there's many questions. How old do I have to be? Are there any other requirements? You have to be at age 16 or older. You must have a high school diploma, high school GPA of 2.75 or higher. You can definitely look through all of these to see if you meet them. And if you have any more questions as well, you can definitely check this out, and it'll hopefully answer them. Another very big and important organization that I definitely wanted to talk about is Women in Aviation, also known as WAI, and it's one of the largest organizations that supports women in all aviation careers. They offer hundreds of scholarships per year. They offer funding for flight training, maintenance, dispatch, or engineering, and they obviously have many networking events as well, and an annual conference similar to OBAP's annual conference. So they obviously not only support students who want to go into flight training and want to become a pilot, but they also have many scholarships available if you want to go into engineering, dispatch, or maintenance as well. It's best for girls and women pursuing aviation and students at any stage, whether they're beginners or not. Application timing, scholarships are usually open early in the year, but the deadlines vary depending on the scholarships, and many are in spring or early summer. There's so many scholarships that people don't apply, and I feel like this is definitely one of them, but it's definitely a great scholarship. They offer a lot of money, and it's important to apply to all these scholarships because they're more unknown. So I would say definitely apply to these scholarships. They give out a lot of money, and there's definitely a good chance that a lot of you guys can get it. The next thing that I want to talk about is Tuskegee Next and Tuskegee Airmen programs. And they're programs that are inspired by the Tuskegee Airmen legacy. They offer aviation exposure programs, leadership development, and scholarships and mentoring as well. One of the things that definitely stuck out to me was they have this academy program during the summer where you can apply to. It's obviously very rigorous. You're competing with a lot of people across the whole entire country that are some of the top students. But you go through an interview process, application process, and if you get chosen for that, you do your ground school online before you come in during the summer. And during the summer, the whole entire summer, it's a very rigorous course, and you're getting your private pilot's license for free. They're paying for all of it, but you have to do it in a very short amount of period. It's a much shorter period than normally people take for their private pilot's license. So you're really on top of your things, and most of your summer is pretty much gone. But you're getting your private pilot's license for free at the end of the day. But they flight train the whole entire summer, and the goal is to get your private pilot's license at the end of it. I remember during our OBAP ACE Academy, on our last day that we graduate, we go to the airport where they flight train, and We basically meet all the cadets and we have our discovery flight and stuff. We get to talk to them the whole day and we spend the whole time with them. They talk to us a lot about like the application process, like what makes you stand out. You need like letters of rec as well. You obviously have to go through a whole interview process. But if you search Tuskegee Next, you'll definitely be able to find more information about it. I'll search it up right now and I'll try to show you guys more information about it. So when you search up Tuskegee Next Summer Aviation Program, you'll be given more information about it. I forgot to mention, but it is for students that are ages 18 through 21. They talk a lot more about what the program is like. It's ground school instruction, approximately 55 hours of flight time, high standards of safety protocols, and solo flight experience. Phase 1 is your ground school, phase 2 is skill building, and phase 3 is certification. You can definitely look through this whole website and it'll definitely tell you a lot more information about it. Obviously, here's the application. If you press there, you can go to application. If you click meet our cadets, you'll be able to meet and get to know some of the past cadets that were there this past year. But I definitely recommend checking this out if you're interested. Another organization that I wanted to talk about that gives many flight training scholarships is called Aircraft Owners and Pilots Association. They offer scholarships for private pilots, advanced rating scholarships as well, and educational resources plus guidance. It's best for student pilots of any ages. They have stuff for beginners and for advanced students as well. And there's usually 2 cycles per year for the application timing. One is during the spring and one is during the fall. It's definitely a great opportunity if you want to get more scholarships. So I just went to their website and you can obviously see that they also have numerous scholarships. They give away more than $1 million in scholarships to high school students, teachers, and adults in flight training. And obviously it's very competitive. So they have many tips available to make your application stand out compared to others. There's many scholarships in the industry scholarships. I talked about EAA obviously earlier. But you can definitely look into this and there's definitely a lot more opportunities available. Women in Aviation, which I also discussed earlier, but there's also regional scholarships and they also have many updates regarding the scholarships as well. The next academy that I want to talk about, I've mentioned it a little bit in my previous video that I went to Civil Air Patrol, but I wanted to talk about the Civil Air Patrol Flight Academies. And Civil Air Patrol is a youth auxiliary of the U.S. Air Force. They offer power and glider flight academies. They offer fully or partially funded flight experiences as well, and structured aviation training. It's best for teenagers that are already in Civil Air Patrol. Most of these you're only able to apply to if you are already in Civil Air Patrol, and students who want early flight exposure as well. The applications are usually open during winter or early spring. I also recommend that you are higher up in your leadership within your squadron, for example, because I think a lot of these opportunities are only available if you are higher up. I know some people in the older squadron that I was a part of, they were able to apply for this, but they were in a much higher leadership position than me, which is why me and my friend we recommended in my previous video that you start Civil Air Patrol at a much younger age and start it early so that you're able to apply for all these scholarships and stand out. But I think this is also a great way to get, even whether it's a few hours in the cockpit for free for your private pilot's license, or whether it's to get it all. But definitely check out their website to learn more. This is probably a much easier way to receive a scholarship, but another way to do it is through local airport and community foundation scholarships. So scholarships that are funded by local airports or community groups. I'm sure that not many airports have this opportunity, but it's definitely important to reach out to any local ones nearby and see if they possibly do. They probably have flexible funding and they often are usable for flight training as well. It's best for students that are near a local airport or connected to local airports, like they work there or they volunteer there. And the application, obviously the timing and stuff, it definitely just depends on the local airport that you're reaching out to or the flight school. But I would say this is definitely one of the easier ways to see if you can receive financial aid. Another important thing that I wanted to mention is that within all these organizations that have flight academies, many have scholarships available as well. So for Civil Air Patrol, they have academic and cadet scholarships as well. So they're scholarships that are awarded based on leadership, academics, and involvement within your squadron and within Civil Air Patrol in general. They offer academic scholarships, leadership recognition, and aviation-related awards as well. It's best for dedicated Civil Air Patrol cadets and students with strong leadership roles as well. Application timing, it usually varies by wing, but it's often during winter through spring. If you definitely want more information about this and you're a Civil Air Patrol cadet, I definitely recommend asking people that are in your squadron more information about it. I'm not that well educated on it because I'm still at a lower ranking and I just started Civil Air Patrol, but I would definitely recommend asking people at your squadron more information about it if you're interested. The next scholarship that I'm going to talk about is with the National Gay Pilots Association, and their scholarships are open to all students. They offer flight training scholarships, career development support, and they're trying to build a more inclusive community within aviation. The application timing is typically during winter through spring. I'm going to look at their website right now and show you guys a little bit more information about the scholarship. So I'm currently in the National Gay Pilots Association website and I'm under their scholarships category currently. It obviously says that their 2025 scholarship cycle is officially closed, but their 2026 application cycle will open again during spring or summer of 2026. So definitely be on the lookout if you're interested. It's definitely coming up soon. Since 1998, they've awarded more than $2.5 million in scholarships to aspiring aviators and aerospace professionals. So they've obviously given a lot of money. It's definitely a good opportunity to get scholarships. You can view their past winners of the scholarship if you click that, and as you scroll down, there's more information about the scholarship, other ways you can get involved with this organization as well. The final organization that I wanted to talk about is American Association of Airport Executives, and they offer many scholarships as well. They represent for airport directors, airport operations and management professionals, and people who run airports. So it's more focused on the business side and less on the flight training. So this is definitely helpful to people who aren't interested in becoming a pilot specifically, but still want to go into like the business side of aviation. They offer scholarships that typically range from $1,000 to $5,000. Some go higher depending on the airport authority or region. These scholarships can be used for flight training, aviation college programs, aviation management, and sometimes general education if it's tied to aviation. These are not only for pilots, but pilots are still eligible for them. It's usually people who are high school seniors or college students and students pursuing aviation related careers, obviously. They sometimes prioritize women, students of color, first generation college students, and local students near an airport. Most of the applications are open during January through March, but it obviously varies a lot. Deadlines are usually March through May. Winners are announced late spring or early summer. A key tip is that local airport authority scholarships, they often have less competition because people don't know they exist. These scholarships you can look up your local airport authority and check for other airport authority websites, AAAE regional chapters, airport internship or education pages as well. You can also email airport education departments. The scholarship's very underrated, so that makes it better because it's a more small applicant pool, so there's a higher chance you can obviously receive this award. You obviously need like a less perfect GPA pressure than national scholarships. They probably have a lot more pressure on having a perfect GPA, and it focuses on the potential and interest and not just the experience that you already have. It's also a great networking opportunity, and airports hire interns and students all the time as well. So definitely check this out as well. It's definitely a more underrated scholarship, which is good because there's a higher chance of getting it as well. But that concludes my video for today. I hope learning about these scholarships and different flight academies and all these opportunities helped you realize that there's honestly a vast amount of scholarships and flight academies that you can apply for, and there's so many different ways that you can get financial aid to start your flight training journey and achieve your goals. If money is an issue for you, don't let that stop you from reaching your goals. There's so many different opportunities available that are literally there to help you reach your goals. So definitely look into these, research a little bit more into when the application's open and when results are usually released. But hopefully this video helped you and you take full advantage of the opportunities that I listed. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I'll be back with another video soon.